Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, is another movie review. Today we're tackling Ghostbusters 4, aka Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I know it's been a hot minute since I've been here. I gotta get new posters, I swear. It's gonna happen one day. Anyway, if you do enjoy this movie, review them, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you're new, really does help me out. It's free, and again, it'll make me very happy, actually. I'll be very happy. So thank you. Anyway, yeah, so we are talking about the new Ghostbusters movie. Now, I said Ghostbusters 4 because this is technically the 5th movie, but Ghostbusters 2016, well, I actually do like that movie to a degree. That is not canon. It doesn't count. So there's Ghostbusters, the original, Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is the 3rd film, and now we got Frozen Empire, which is the 4th. I'll be honest, I have seen Ghostbusters 1. I don't have it on Blu-ray anymore. The DVD broke. So I need to get that again. I have not seen 2. I've never seen it. I played it in LEGO Dimensions, but I never watched it. Ghostbusters Afterlife I did see. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I remember bits and pieces, and I quite enjoyed that one. So going into this film, I'm like, alright, I'm not the biggest fan of Ghostbusters ever. You know, they're good movies. They're fine. You know, obviously I'd rather see Star Wars or Marvel or whatnot, but they're good. And this one I was like, okay, I really enjoyed Afterlife from what I can remember at least, and it was a good time, and, you know, they kind of brought back the old characters, and they had the new ones with Phoebe and Trevor and the mom and dad characters that I don't remember their names, and it was just a fun time. And this trailer was a little weird. You know, it showed like Frozen Empire, right? It showed like the icicles kind of, you know, sticking out of the freaking beach and whatnot, and it was just orbs and you know, Patton Oswalt's there, and you know, there's a lot of things to this trailer. And after seeing the movie, I don't think it deserves a 40 whatever on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it is a very good movie. It's well made. You know, it's got good CGI. I really don't have any complaint with the CGI. It has good practical effects, which is good, especially Slimer and a few other things. It has some stop motion, surprisingly. You know, or at least it's CG that looks like stop motion. Think of like the Lego movies, how those, you know, Emmett and Wild Style, they kind of effing move like stop motion, but they're actually CG, that kind of thing. I don't know which was which, but it looked good, and it did look, you know, convincing like stop motion. Of course, the comedy is there. Of course, this being a Ghostbusters film, you're expecting some comedy. We'll get to that in a little bit, but on the surface, the comedy, for the most part, worked. You know, there's a few really good jokes in there where I laughed out loud. It's not the funniest movie in the world. It's, you know, there are some jokes that land a little bit less than others where, you know, they clearly filmed it and they're like, and beat! And there's a little bit of silence, and like one guy was like, huh! In the theater, and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, so my dad was laughing a lot, but I like the stages of laughter in this movie. It was a little exhale out of my nose, or it was a you know what I mean? It was like a different variation. It sounds like Joker, but you know, that's what it was. And we'll get to that in a minute. But as far as the positives go, like I said, it looks good. The soundtrack is good. I think the actors are fine. You know, it's funny, the one girl from that was in Madam Web, you get the 3 girls. I don't remember her name. The black girl. I don't remember her name. There's the 2 white chick, or the white chick, the Mexican chick, and the black chick. I think she's Mexican. I don't know, but she's in that movie. And I'm like, I'm watching this, and I'm like, where? I know her from something. I just saw, and it was Madam Web. I'm like, I just saw a movie with you in it. And it was not that great. It was Madam Web, and yeah, I mean, she's better in this one. I don't know if she just didn't feel it that day when they were filming Madam Web, but I mean, she's not an Oscar-winning actor, but she's fine in this. You know, I mean, she does the job, and she was in Afterlife. Lucky, I think her name was, and you know, Trevor and her kind of not GTA 5 Trevor. You know, the Finn Wolf, the weird-looking kid Trevor, and they're fine. You know what I mean? So the actors are good. Having the legacy characters come back, of course, sadly, you know, Egon passed away, as we all know at this point, but you know, we get the other ones back. We get Ray and Venkman and Ernie and all that, so that was cool. Melvin's back, and she's actually, like he says in the trailer, in uniform, so that's cool. So there's a lot of really good things in this, you know, especially looking at the nostalgia factor of it, right? Because you see it with, like, say, an obvious comparison is the Star Wars sequels, right? Of course, those are my favorite set of films ever made, but the Star Wars sequels did nostalgia from the originals and from the prequels correctly by building on top of that, adding onto it, and just kind of respecting it. You know, it wasn't like, here's the thing, you know what I mean? Oh my god! You know, it was like, they really, you know, made it work. And they did that here as well. You know what I mean? There's a lot of funny, cool callbacks of the, you know, the purple ghost from the library, you know, going toward the camera on like a rig or something. Obviously that's in the trailer, but you know, there's little nostalgia things like that, or little lines or little characters that show up, no spoilers, and there's some stuff in there like, oh shit, they're doing it, like this is cool. And it wasn't just like, yeah, I guess a comparison would be like Avengers Endgame, where you have like a million freaking people on screen at the same time in the final battle. I love that scene. It's a great movie. But they're you know, oh, we got Howard the Duck. Oh, we got this guy. Oh, we got this chick. She's in there. Oh, this dude, he's there. You know, he has nothing to do with the movie, but he's there. Stuff like that. That's not this film. And just like the Star Wars movies, they have a purpose. And it was really cool to see that, oh, there's connections. Because, yeah, these are all in the same canon, right? They're all in the same world. And instead of being like a nostalgia bait, really, dangling on a fishing line, it actually made sense within the narrative, which is always good. Other positives would be, I like the story. I think they did a really good job kind of mixing the different tones and the different, or not tones, the different, I guess, elements that you would see in a movie like this, but they actually add on to it in different ways. Again, that kind of falls into spoiler territory, but they do unique things, and it's a very creative film in terms of that. Not only because there's an ice monster and there's icicles and shit, you know, flopping from the floor or whatever, there's other things that I can't mention that are, you know, story ruiners, but they are very good, at least for the video, they're very good, you know, creative things that happen. It's hard to say this because it's such a new movie, but they do things where, you know, there's elements and there's different kind of aspects to it that kind of mix together in ways that I didn't really see coming for a Ghostbusters movie, which was really cool, because I'm like, oh, this is, you know, because like, what do? You get the freaking proton pack, you know, you shoot a ghost, and then it goes in the pack, and you say your catchphrase, and you're done. You know, like that's what it was. But this, they kind of added onto it. Not only added onto the lore, but they also had a really cool storytelling aspect to it as well. Looking, you know, Phoebe, McKenna Grace's character from Afterlife, of course, she's back in this. She kind of takes the spotlight again, which is cool. So there's a lot of different stories, right? You get the one story, and this is kind of going into the negatives now. You have the one story with the ice monster, you know, and then you have another thing which I can't ruin. Kumail Nanjiani's character is in this. The bird from the Illumination Bird movies, Jay, in the Lego Ninjago movies, the guy from Eternals, you know who he is. And he was, he kind of has a story element too, which, again, it's hard to talk about, but it first felt kind of weird, so I'm like, alright, this is a little too, like, the lore is, it's getting too insane, but then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm watching a movie about ghosts. You know, so it's like, oh yeah, you know, why not throw this in too? It works, you know. It's fun. At the end of the day, I didn't really have, I had a problem with it when they first introduced it, and then as I was watching the movie, it works, and it's funny, and it's good. And then I was like, oh yeah, the movie's about ghosts. So I guess this isn't really too far off, and it wasn't. So it wasn't that bad. A little bit disconnected. And then you have Phoebe's character, her arc, her story as well, which isn't even in the trailer, so I'm not really going to mention it too much, but Phoebe is kind of in contact with this other girl thing, and again, this is where I was a little bit confused on the messaging, because, you know, everything, I hate bringing politics into this, but it's like, oh, everything's woke, and you know me, I don't like woke shit either, but it was really weird in the messaging, not in terms of the story. I understood what was happening, and there is a payoff in the end, and it works, it's good, because there is, like I said, that payoff toward the end of the film, where it all kind of connects. But Phoebe meets this girl thing. I can't say what it is. It's a female though, and they kind of start talking like, oh, that's cool. She can, you know, she can kind of relate to this girl, and they become friends. But the way that they interact with each other, the way the music is, it felt like, you know, Phoebe obviously isn't the most feminine woman in the world. Just look at her. But I don't know if they're trying to be like, she's a lesbian and she wants to date this girl thing. I can't say what it is. But it's just kind of really weird, and by the end, there's, you know, I don't want the woke stuff, but there's no payoff for the friend thing, and there's no payoff for the lesbian thing. So at the end of it, it just kind of, it poofs, and it just goes away. And again, the storytelling works. That part is good. But if they were trying to tell a woke message, I don't know if they were or not. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely don't. You watch Andor, for example. Andor is a great Star Wars show. There's 2 lesbians in the show. It's pretty freaking obvious. You know, they're not making out and, you know, having sex with each other, but you can tell that they love each other. And yeah, it is technically woke, but it's not shoved down your throat. You know what I mean? Look at these lesbians! You know what I mean? They don't do that. The same thing here, where it's like, I don't know what you're trying to do. Like, if you're going to do a woke message, I don't agree with it, but at least, like, commit to something. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're friends or they want to date. I got no clue. So that was a bit weird in terms of its messaging. Storytelling aspect, it's a little bit more clear. And there are things that happen in the end which work. But really, I mean, that's kind of as far as the negatives go. Maybe there's, the final battle, so to speak, that you see in the trailer, where it's all, the whole city's under ice and all that. It's kind of like, it kind of quick cuts. There's not really a whole lot of build up to it. Just something happens and then boom, final battle. You know what I mean? World War III. And, so it's a bit muddled in the editing too, but I don't think it's as bad as what people claim it is. Maybe not as strong as Afterlife. I haven't really remembered a whole lot of it. I think that the people saying Ghostbusters 1 is the best might be a bit blinded by nostalgia. I get it. You grew up with it. You love it. I understand. But comparing a really shitty looking stop motion movie, I don't get it. It probably looked bad for the time too. I mean, let's be honest. But, this is obviously a much better made movie than the first one. I mean, obviously, right? I mean, we're in 2024, not 1980 something. But at the same time, the storytelling in that first movie is still good. Maybe even a little bit better than this one. So this isn't like my favorite. Again, I haven't seen 2, and I need to rewatch 1 and 3, but it is certainly a hell of a lot better than 2016. I'm not one of those sexist, weird guys on the internet that's like, oh, female's bad! You know what I mean? Like, no, women are tight. But at the same time, it's just not the best movie ever. It's a fine movie. I'll say it. Kill me, whatever. Ghostbusters 2016 is not a horrible movie. There are some good elements to it. I think there are good things to be found in any movie, even Catwoman, or even, Holmes and Watson, Batman and Robin. Some of the worst movies I've ever seen, they have one good thing in it. So I don't think Ghostbusters 2016 was that horrible, but this is much better. I mean, the effects, the acting, the writing, the jokes, everything's better here. It does, kind of fall into a bit over-seriousness. They have all the lore, they have the converging plot points that kind of, come to a head in the end, but Ghostbusters 1 was very much, there's a story and there's lore, but it's kind of just a bunch of guys effing around for an hour and a half just kind of getting ghosts. That's what it was. It was like you get a bunch of, SNL people to muck around in front of the camera. They did that in the 2016 version, it just wasn't as funny. But at the same time, this movie is dangerously close to becoming a little bit too serious for its own good. There's moments from the trailer that just straight up aren't in the freaking movie. The shot where the dad, Paul Rudd's character, is like, his crazy laugh. That's not in the movie at all. I forgot, it was really weird. I'm like, it wasn't in the movie. But, they do that all the time with Marvel movies and all that. But overall, it is a good film. I don't think it deserves the hate it's getting. Just a few editing mishaps, a few muddled messages that I don't know what they're trying to say or do. A few of the plot points can kind of feel a little bit too much for a Ghostbusters movie. But, I understand why they did it and it works. But, again, it falls, like, stupidly close to being, okay, this is a bit too much. We're kind of almost there. But I had fun. It has some really good action, very good CGI. Easily the best villain out of all the movies. Again, I haven't seen 2, but I'm assuming he's not as good. The ones that I have seen, though, this creature, I can't even remember, it starts with a G, Gagoogamuga or something, Gargamel, I don't know. But it's a very intimidating, formidable villain, and definitely the best, I think, so far. Some really good Easter eggs, some cool callbacks, nostalgia that actually builds on the story, and it's not just like, here's a dangling carrot, type thing. I think it works. Again, the only real drawbacks would be the stuff I mentioned, but it's not overly bad. I think it's a good movie, I don't think it's the best film ever made, but I had a lot of fun with it, and it definitely does build on the Ghostbusters mythos in a fun way, and I hope they make another one, because, I don't know if how well this movie's doing, money-wise. I know critics aren't loving it, but tell me down below if you have seen Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, though. I want to hear from you without ruining it, because, again, I kind of had to stop myself. I almost spoiled things a few times, but I do think that it is going to be, I don't want to say polarizing, but it's going to be different, I think the people in my theater liked it. There were a lot of, it was actually a pretty audible theater, so people were like, my dad was laughing and all that, but I thought it was good, it's a fun time. So tell me down below what you think about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Do you want to see more Ghostbuster movies? Do you want to see another one of the female squad? Who knows if they're going to make that canon, or if they're going to draw that back? Who knows? I doubt it, but you never know. Again, though, I had a fun time. It has a few issues, but it was pretty cool nonetheless. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.